Welcome, Central Indiana sports fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for my new podcast. Greg and his friends talk sports every day, sometime between 20 and 30 minutes. My friends and I are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about, whether it's the IU, Purdue, the Colts, Pacers, Fever, IndyCar, national sports, or high school sports. If Central Indiana sports fans are talking about it, that's what we're talking about. Coming up today, IU's men and women both got big wins on Wednesday. My friend Grant Shouse will talk about the Hoosier men's win coming up. And my friend Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader will join me to talk about both the IU men and women on the Thursday conversation at the end of the podcast. CJ Cox bailed out Purdue. Unfortunately, my friend Jake Dunn couldn't make it today, but I have plenty to say about the Boilermakers. Also, lots of high school sectional scores from Wednesday night. Plus, Madison Grant moves down to Class A in basketball, baseball, softball, and volleyball. And Frankton moves back from Class 3A down to 2A, and so much more in reclassification from the IHSAA. Before we get to all of that, I want to let you know what's going on at the Central Indiana Sports Report. We will have an IndyCar report later for you today, looking back at the race at St. Pete and looking ahead to Saturday's race in Phoenix. I'm also working really hard to put together a Colts report and a Fever report, but it's not very easy in the off-season. That reminds me, we're looking for people to talk Colts in particular. Text me at 502-533-3161 if you are interested. Thank you so much for joining us. My friends and I will be back tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. And here is what happened on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Big win for the Indiana Hoosiers Wednesday night at Assembly Hall, 77-47 over Minnesota, ending a 4-game losing streak and helping their NCAA tournament odds. Joining me now is my friend and one of our IU guys, Grant Shouse, to talk about it.
Hey, Grant, I thought Sam Alexis was great with 23 points and 9 rebounds, and Connor Enright was fantastic with 8 assists, and Tucker DeVries was really good with 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. But, Grant, I think the MVP of this one was Darren DeVries. Total game plan victory from start to finish, and that's a great sign for the program.
Obviously, whatever he came up with and whatever message he sent to these dudes here before senior night obviously struck and obviously resonated with these guys. They played a complete game from start to finish. Quite the contrast from the first matchup against Minnesota where they lost.
And the last four.
Yeah, they lost at the barn, and they needed that win last night. I mean, you can kiss the NCAA tournament goodbye for sure if you lose to Minnesota.
That's right.
But that's a nice win for your resume. It's a nice bubble game, and it's trying to get you on the right side of things just to try to get you to Dayton here in about 10 days.
And then Saturday, the season finale against Ohio State and the Big Ten tournament. These are huge games coming up.
Yeah, and they're winnable games, too. That's the good thing about this is Ohio State's playing really good basketball right now. I know they beat Purdue at home the other day. Ohio State is a good team. Indiana is going to be challenged on Saturday. It's a get-up game. It's a nationally televised game, and hopefully Indiana can go on the road and take care of business. If Darren DeVries can instill the same mindset that he did to these guys before senior night, I like Indiana's chances. It's another gotta-have-it game here down the stretch in March.
Grant, you and I will talk more about that one later in the week. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
More on this game and the IU women coming up at the end of this podcast with my friend Michelle Garmon on the Thursday conversation. Purdue got a much-needed win Wednesday night in Evanston, a 70-66 come-from-behind victory over Northwestern. It wasn't pretty, but CJ Cox had a career night with 27 points, hit 3 big three-pointers down the stretch, and made a couple other really big plays. As the 15th-ranked Boilermakers improved to 23-7 on the year and stay in contention for a Big Ten tournament double bye. But honestly, it was a really pitiful performance by the Boilermakers, particularly the first half, but in total. Allowed Northwestern to shoot 51%, 44% from deep, had 14 turnovers, and didn't look engaged through the whole game. Trey Kaufman ran 11 points and 10 rebounds and went over 1,500 points for his career. But Braden Smith didn't score in the first half as Purdue fell behind by as many as 10 points. He finished 1 for 5 from the field for 7 points. He did have 9 assists on Wednesday, giving him 1,020 for his career, just 10 behind North Carolina's Ed Cota for third, 18 behind NC State's Chris Corchiani for second, and 56 behind national record holder Bobby Hurley. Minimum 3 games left to play, maximum 10, hopefully 9. But as of today, this team is nowhere near where we expected them to be. If not for Cox and Northwestern's inability to get a rebound, Purdue fans would be in a world of misery right now. We honestly are anyway. And for the first time in a really long time under Coach Painter, I now expect the worst over the next couple of weeks. As of today, of course, Big Ten champion Michigan is the top seed in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan State has a half-game lead on Nebraska and Illinois for second, making those the 4 teams currently with the double bye. But the Purdue-Wisconsin winner on Saturday will get a chance to be a top 4 seed as well. Currently, UCLA is 7th, Iowa 8th, and IU 9th. IU looks like they're going to finish 9th. And it seems like IU and Purdue will end up on the same side of the bracket for the first time in years. They still haven't played each other in the Big Ten tournament since 1998, the first year that the tournament was held. 27 years in a row without playing each other in the Big Ten tournament. Most of those years, there were only 11 teams in the tournament. You would think that. Weird. Creighton dropped Butler to 6-13 in the Big East with a 76-59 win Wednesday night at Hinkle. And late Wednesday, Notre Dame lost to Stanford 86-78 to fall to 4-13 in the Big Ten. Both teams won on the other team's floor this year. In women's college basketball in the Big Ten tournament, IU outscored Nebraska 44-24 in the second half to beat the Cornhuskers 72-69 on Wednesday night at the Fieldhouse in beautiful downtown Indianapolis. I spoke with my friend and Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader sports editor and IU women's season ticket holder Michelle Garmon about the win. That's coming up at the end of the podcast. And Oregon ended Purdue's season, a decent Purdue season considering where the program's been of late, with an 82-64 victory. The Ducks will play 14th ranked Maryland at 9 o'clock tonight. USC Washington opens play Thursday at noon, which means it's already begun, followed by IU Ohio State, then Illinois and Michigan State at 7:30. And late Wednesday night in Los Angeles, got to be honest, I did not watch it. Bennedict Mathurin scored 23 points in his first game against the Pacers, and the Clippers handed the Pacers their 7th consecutive loss, 130-107. Pascal Siakam had 29 points to lead the Pacers, and Kawhi Leonard scored 29 to lead the Clippers. The Pacers stay in town for a late Friday game against the Lakers. The Pacers have the worst record in the NBA Eastern Conference at 15-47, a half game behind the Brooklyn Nets, and a game and a half behind the Washington Wizards. They have to stay in the bottom 3 to get the best odds for the top pick at 14% or a top 4 pick at 52%. And now we move to some high school basketball, light night locally in sectional basketball, but we did have a few results. Number 9, West Lafayette ended Western season with a 59-47 victory. The sectional favorites and 19-4 Red Devils will face 7-16 Peru in Friday's semifinals after the Tigers defeated defending champion Mechaniquao 71-50. West Lafayette Peru follows 16-5 Northwestern against 13-9 and host Logansport. That game is at 6 on Friday. Staying in 3A at Frankfort, Danville and 3-time defending champion Garin Catholic picked up easy wins in the first sectional outing of the year. Danville is 10-14 after beating Crawfordsville 76-61. And the 5th-ranked Golden Eagles defeated the host Hot Dogs 81-36. It's hard to say Hot Dogs without laughing. The Eagles and Warriors will face off in Friday's semifinals at the Wiener Arena, following 10-12 Lebanon against 16-6 and 10th-ranked Brebeuf. I love Frankfurt. I love that they're called the Hot Dogs, but it's funny. Garin and Brebeuf are expected to play in Saturday's championship. And at Greenwood, Roncalli ended New Pal's reign as sectional champions, beating the Dragons 69-58 on Wednesday, following Beech Grove's 63-52 win over Indian Creek. So on Friday at Greenwood, it'll be 19-5 Shelbyville against 14-9 Greenwood, and 15-7 Roncalli against 9-16 Beech Grove. Only one local sectional in action in Class 2A. That was at Eastern Hancock. Heritage Christian defeated Crystal House 64-55, and Trenton Central beat the host Royals 47-45 for its 20th win of the year. The 12-11 Eagles and 20-3 Tigers in Friday's second semifinal at Eastern Hancock, following 17-6 Cecina against 11-14 Kip Legacy. In Class A at Clinton Central, Bethesda Christian ended defending state champion Clinton Prairie's season 47-28, and Frontier ripped the host Bulldogs 73-34. The Patriots and Falcons will play in the second semifinal Friday, following the game we're most interested in, 18-5 Rossville against 10-13 Carroll. The Cougars beat Rossville 56-55 early in the year. At Westdale, Daleville beat Westdale for the second time this year, 57-52. And number 6, Southwood got past Cowan 60-52 on Wednesday night. Thomas Smith scored 20 and had the go-ahead baskets for the defending champion Broncos. Daleville and Southwood will play each other in Friday's second semifinal, following 14-9 North Miami against 9-15 Tri-Central. At Cambridge City, 18-5 Monroe Central beat Blue River 69-23, and 18-4 Randolph Southern ran past the host Golden Eagles 68-39 to set up a rematch that the Rebels won 57-52 in Parker City on December 19th. That follows 7-14 Union against 10-13 Union City, meaning the Randolph Southern Monroe Central game is the de facto championship. And there were 3 games Wednesday night at the Indiana Deaf sectional because there was a leaky ceiling during the second game on Tuesday night. Game 1 on Wednesday, the game that was supposed to be played on Tuesday, Anderson Prep ended international season with a 53-30 victory and will play 16-9 Purdue Broad Ripple in Friday's first semifinal. Then 16-7 and 3-time defending champion Liberty Christian will face 3-16 Tinley after the Lions beat MTI 86-16 and Tinley defeated Indiana Math and Science 67-51. And the IHSA released their new classifications for football, boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball, and volleyball. We'll start with the basketball, volleyball, baseball, and softball new sectionals. Moving from Class 3A to 4A is New Powell and Greenwood. From 4A to 3A, Bedford North Lawrence. From 2A to 3A is Bluffton, Mater Dei, Lures, North Montgomery, and Woodland. Moving down from Class 3A to 2A is Maconaquah and Peru. So those rivals will probably stay in the same sectional. And Cascade also moves down. From Class A to Class 2A, Clinton Prairie moves up. Knightstown, Henryville, and South Central as well. And moving down from Class 2A to Class A is the Madison Grant Argyles. Good news for them and their basketball program that's trying to get back on track. Also joining the Argyles, Hebron and Irvington Prep. And in football, Valparaiso and Merrillville will move from Class 5A to 6A, switching with Indianapolis Tech and Snyder. Pendleton Heights and Mount Vernon are among the schools moving from Class 4A to 5A, along with Huntington North, Greenfield Central, Fort Wayne South, and Fort Wayne Wayne. Moving from Class 5A to 4A is Kokomo, Columbus East, East Chicago Central, Fort Wayne North, and Hammond Morton. From 3A to 4A, Delta moves up, along with Jay County, Garin Catholic, and Madison. Moving from 4A to 3A, Newcastle, Washington, and South Bend, Washington. And from 2A to 3A, good news for everybody in Class 2A, Eastbrook moves up, as does Adams Central, after reaching the state championship 4 straight years. And Andrean, which beat the Jets to end their 4-year run as semi-state champions, and went on to beat Browntown Central 7-0 in the state championship, along with Western Boone, Heritage Christian, North Montgomery, Sullivan, and Bluffton. And Franklin and Oak Hill will move from Class 3A to 2A, as will 3A state champion Cascade, actually moving down, plus Knox and Lakeland. From 2A to A is Central Catholic, Cherubusco, Crawford County, and from Class A to Class 2A, Hagerstown, LaVille, Perry Central, Providence, and South Spencer. Some quick NFL news. Stephon Diggs was released by the Patriots, and Bears Pro Bowl center Drew Dalman announced his retirement. We will have a Colts report for you on Friday with Will Rutherford, Sam Frick, and probably Michelle Garmon as well. We'll discuss Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce, and all that's going on with this cuckoo franchise, which is $5 million over the salary cap, have Daniel Jones as their future quarterback, and clearly have no idea what they're doing. Looking ahead to Thursday, March 5th, 2026, Indiana State and Valpo meet in the first round of Arch Madness, the MVC tournament in St. Louis. and Evansville Northern Iowa play the late game at 9:30. Both can be seen on ESPN+. Of course, 26-5 and regular season champion Belmont is the heavy favorite in the tournament. Bradley, Illinois State, and Murray State are the other serious contenders. None of Indiana's teams have a chance. They stink. Two important games in the Big Ten on Thursday. Number 3, Michigan's at Iowa, and number 8, Michigan State hosts Rutgers. Both games are 8 o'clock. Michigan-Iowa is on Peacock. Michigan State-Rutgers on FS1. And, of course, IU's women are in the Big Ten tournament. Second round tonight, today against Ohio State. Coming up in just a second, we'll talk about that with Michelle Garmon. Plus 20-9 Notre Dame faces 17-13 Miami in the ACC tournament in Atlanta at 1:30, so 3 minutes from now. The Hurricanes beat Stanford 83-76 in overtime on Wednesday night to set up that game. That game can be seen on the ACC network, and if you haven't seen Hannah Hidalgo, go see her play. And the Noblesville Boom return tonight. Host 7-20 College Park at 7 at the Arena at Innovation Mile. The Boom are currently 14-13 and a game and a half out of the last playoff spot. And on tomorrow's podcast, we'll be looking ahead to Friday's boys basketball semifinals with some special guests. Please stay tuned for my Thursday conversation with Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader. Joining me now is Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader to talk about IU's men's and women's wins last night. And Michelle, let's start with the women. I'm sure you'd given up on that one.
I was concerned, down 17 at halftime. But in context, defense did improve in the second quarter after the first quarter. Nebraska came out just hot, 29 points and dominating the boards. But the women's group here for Indiana, this team has just gotten better over the course of the season. They've improved so much, and I've noticed that here of late. And I'm throwing out those two games on the West Coast because they didn't have Shea Chesky. Now, that she does not going to make that much of a difference. She's not going to make up the 30-some points, 40 points if they got beat by UCLA. UCLA is just a bad matchup for Indiana with their lack of depth inside right now. But the USC game, they may have won that. So they played extremely well as a team. They're getting more scoring across the board. I mean, this is the second straight game they've put 4 out of their 5 starters in double figures. And Maya Makalowski was only a point away from being the 5th starter. And she's having a terrific freshman season, named all freshman team. And you can't slight what Nevaeh Caffey has done here of late. She's been rock solid. Krzyzewski's the glue that makes them go, but the improvement of the 2 freshmen, the improvement, I don't know as so much improvement as she's learned IU's system, Odessa Noyen, and is really playing well. But I've said this, I think Terry's crew, and I think Rhett Wiersbe is a big reason for this and plays the biggest part, are great at developing post players. If you look at what the skill sets and the footwork of IU's post players, you have Mackenzie Holmes, obviously, but then you look at what they did, how Carol Strickland improved last year through the season, and again, how Odessa Noyen is doing as he's done this season. It's tremendous, and IU's playing really well, and it's going to be hard. Chesky, Caffey, and Noyen all played 40 minutes in yesterday's win, but 20-point deficit, largest ever comeback by IU, at least in the Terry Warren era. They're now at 18 wins on the season. If they could pull a stunner today. I don't know. Yesterday's game, I think, was a stunner only because IU was down so large and came back and won. But I don't think it's a stunner that they won that game considering how well they've been playing of late.
But it will be today if they beat Ohio State.
Yes, that would be a stunner. And that would put them at 19 wins. It's really a shame. They started the conference season 10, and that is because really, for the most part, this is a year when IU couldn't afford to have all the heavyweight conference teams at the beginning of the season, and that's pretty much what they were dealt with. They only returned 1 starter from a year ago, and Bowman had only played limited time as a freshman and missed all of last season. It was a tough, and then to suffer the injury that they did this year, that was a tough stretch. They had some weaker teams, their Big Ten record might have been just a little bit better because the way they're playing right now, and if they would stun Ohio State, and most years that would get them into the NC2A tournament, but because they only ended up with 5-6 wins in the Big Ten, that's not going to be enough. They should get a postseason berth somewhere.
All right, Michelle, another big night from Shea Shesky, and I saw you tweeted your disappointment with the for not being all first-team Big Ten.
The media got it right. And a lot of times, you worry about the media because of the bias of the teams they cover. But they got it right. She was first team all Big Ten with the media. The coaches got it wrong. And what disappoints me about the coaches is she is the player that you game plan. Your whole defensive game plan revolves around when you're playing IU. And not one coach, because USC, UCLA don't count, but not one coach could stop her. She was second in the conference in scoring. And had she not tried to play the UCLA game, but could not because she rolled her ankle again, had she not played just briefly in that game, she would have led the Big Ten in scoring. But it was 2. She averaged better than 50% from the field in Big Ten play and all year, the whole season. Better than 40. I think she's around 46% three-point shooting, 43 to 46 in Big Ten and all season. 90% free throw line, Big Ten and all season, and 50, 40, and 90. And I think she's like only the 4th player to have those kind of numbers since they've been tracking those stats.
But you mentioned 6 wins, and if I'm a coach, a player has to be extra special for me not.
Well, she is.
All right.
50, 40,
I'm
and
just
90.
making the argument.
50, 40, and 90. Who else did that? You couldn't stop her. I mean, she scored 23.2 points a game. She had some games that were even bigger number. You couldn't stop her. And they tried. Greg, I watched. They would hold her. They would grab her. They would double team her. They would play her a man and a half. They would triple team her at times. They could not stop her. To me, that just speaks volumes. Had IU been in contention for the conference, then she should have been consideration with Lauren Betts for Conference Player of the Year. You shouldn't punish her because she's not 6'7". Betts being 6'7", yes, she's good, but she's also the biggest, most physical player in the Big Ten, so she is going to dominate inside nightly. What Shea Shesky did is tremendous, and so I just felt like the coaches snubbed her a little bit, but it's just extra motivation.
Gets a chance to prove them wrong again today.
Yes, she does. And her game is just so good because she's been close to triple-double. She's had a lot of double-doubles with points and rebounds, and she's 5'7" guard. It's just, to me, it's just tremendous. She's worked so hard and has become such a great scorer. And I firmly believe she can play at the next level because she's worked on having a quick release and knows how to create space for herself.
All right, Michelle, I talked to Grant Shouse earlier on this show, but I wanted to get your opinion of the IU men. In particular, I know that you've said that they've got to get Sam Alexis more involved and he needs to be stronger and tougher, and last night they did exactly that.
Well, he has, I think, outside of just maybe the Purdue game when he really struggled, I think he has been really playing really well here of late. And Coach DeVries had mentioned it earlier this year that he took the blame because he said, we didn't figure out Sam Alexis' strengths to take advantage of them soon enough. So they have. He is phenomenal. I wish he had another year. I really wish this group had all come in as juniors because I think they would have been, I think this year of experience and playing together would have just been tremendous for them going forward. But I get it. I know everybody talks about the roster and DeVries and what, well, we should have done better in the portal and that. He had 0 players left.
And
he was hired 6 days before the portal opened.
That's right.
And he still didn't have a whole staff yet.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. He was at a serious disadvantage. I didn't think he'd be able to put together a team that would finish in the top 15 in the Big Ten.
Lamar Wilkerson was a home run hit for him.
Home run.
And don't tell me Darren DeVries and his staff are bad coaches because they've developed Wilkerson into a complete guard. He was just pretty much a shooter. But they told him he needed to be more to play at the Big Ten and find success, and he's worked on it, and he is more.
And Coach DeVries has finally figured out that you got to have Connor Enright at the point.
Yes. Yes.
He's just too good at controlling the offense. I understand he can't shoot. He's not going to score for you very much. He's just too good at running that offense, as we saw last night. When he and Alexis were in the game, they were pretty much unstoppable.
They really were, and it's really good, and it helps too that his son can kind of play that point forward too, and it helps. And I like how I wish we had more inside. I don't like I may be disappointed at times with Reed Bailey's numbers or performance, but the home fans to boo him, that is wrong, because the one thing with Reed Bailey, this whole group, that every player he's brought in, they play hard. We haven't seen IU play hard. They didn't play hard like this every game under Woodson, and they do with DeVries. And so you can be disappointed and wish that he, rebounded better and everything. And I've said that sometimes that's what hurt IU in losses. But I would never say boo Reed Bailey. He's trying to do the best that he can.
Yep. The only time college players should be booed is when there's lack of effort. That's it. Anyway.
Yes. Yes.
Michelle,
yes.
Thank you so much for your time, as always, and look forward to talking to you on Friday night at Elwood. Michelle and I will be doing a recap on that. Michelle will also be joining the IndyCar report on Thursday and the Colts report on Friday, so we're going to get lots of Michelle.
My busy time is winding down before it starts up again. I have more free time, and I enjoy this, so thank you for having me, Greg.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.